everyone, Liberty Woods here, and I wanted to do just a short video to share with you why I am a Beachbody coach and what motivates me to make the most out of this business. And you might be thinking, oh, well, it's the money or the freedom of being self-employed or owning your own business. But for me, it is really my children. And I know that sounds cliche, right? That all moms want to do the best for their kids and be at home and be present and be able to volunteer at school and go on field trips and pick them up and all that good stuff. But let me just back up and share a little bit about my history. I was really focused on my career, and I worked in molecular diagnostics. I focused on HIV, hepatitis, tuberculosis, other infectious diseases, and developing the tests that help monitor therapy, monitor treatment. And for me, that was very exciting. I worked in marketing and I did a lot of face-to-face, and I got to see how the product that I was designing and developing was really going to impact patient care. And with that, I had global responsibility, and so that means I covered the globe and as far as my territories. And you know, I was at that job for 13 years. So through getting married, having kids, and really growing with the company and growing in my career, and our income, our support for our family came mostly from my job. Now with that, if you can imagine having global responsibility and working in the industry in which I did, I traveled a lot. So there were times where I was traveling 70% of a month. That means I'd go out for a few days, come home for a day, go out, back out, come home, go back out. So what did that mean? How did that impact my kids? Well, my son is my oldest, so my kids are right now are 8, 7, and 4, so 8-year-old son and 2 girls. And my oldest, my son, when he was younger, he understood that mom was just gone a lot, and he cherished the times when I was home. But as he grew older and I traveled more, he started to withdraw. Our family, we would use FaceTime or even Skype before FaceTime to communicate while I was out, and we'd have our nightly calls, and the kids would be excited to get on the phone and be able to see me. But my son started to pull away around 7 years old, and he would barely get on the phone to say hi. He didn't want to see me. When I was home, he didn't want to be around me. He would hardly give me a kiss. He didn't want to give me a hug, didn't want to go to the store with me or hang out. And at that time I thought, oh wow, this is just kind of, he's growing up, he's 7, he's getting independent, he doesn't want mom around, you know. I was remember saying, wow, there's such a big difference between 6 and 7 in this boy, and I thought it was just kind of a normal behavior for a growing boy. Well, my job ended abruptly, laid off after 13 years with the company, and I was home. And with that, I had already started to become a Beachbody coach, and you know, doing the programs and using the coaching really for the discount and my own personal accountability, and starting to get into helping others a little bit more, and using the money I was earning for fun money and supporting my Shakeology habit. But during the layoff, put a little bit more effort into coaching and growing that. And so it was great because I was starting to be able to help contribute to a car payment or something. So, but during that layoff is when my relationship with my son started to change. And he went from barely wanting to see me or have anything to do with me to, here's a good example. I'd be cooking dinner, and he'd come up behind me and he'd wrap his arms around my waist and just hold me as I was cooking dinner. And of course, me, the mom and me, I loved it, but then I was like, oh, you gotta move because you're gonna get burned. But our relationship started to change. Well, out of fear of not being able to provide for the family, I went back to work in January. So I got laid off in August, went back to work in January, and was working from home. So I was around a little bit more, but I started to travel again, and that started to affect him. So I got laid off again, June 30th. And with that, my husband and I decided that we were going to do whatever it took to keep me home. And so I started pouring myself into Beachbody a little bit more. And, but the calls from the recruiter started coming in, oh, I saw that, you're available now. And the rock star companies were calling, the great opportunities. But my friend, you've heard me mention him before, Mike, he invited me to be a guest for Shilling Johnson's Marketing Impact Academy. And during my layoff and even working from home, I was in workout clothes most of the time. I'd get up, work out, just go right on the computer and start working. So my kids were very accustomed to me being in workout clothes. Well, to go to Marketing Impact, if you've ever seen anything with Shilling Johnson, everybody is looking great. So I would get dressed, and the first day I was getting ready to leave, I walked into his room, and it was early, it was before 7, and to give him a kiss and tell him I was leaving. And he woke up and he looked at me and he panicked. And he said, "Mom, why are you dressed that way?" And he was so afraid that I had taken a job and I was going back to a corporate job and not going to be present for him. That, it broke my heart, and it just drilled in, made it very concrete that this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do for my family, for the sake of my kids, for the sake of my marriage. That I realized, over the last few months that, careers will be there. If I wanted to go back into molecular diagnostics one day, I could. But my kids are only little once. So I need to make the most of that opportunity. I can only raise them once. And I want them to grow up secure, and knowing that mom is doing something to help others get better and get healthy. Yesterday, I was able to go on a field trip with my son and his class, and it was awesome. And the teacher asked some of the parents to carry the boxes of lunches, and he said, "My mom can do it because she's the strong one." So he's proud of his mom, and it's really, really changed my life and my perspective. And my girls, our relationship is amazing, and I try to spend individual time with each of them, and I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for Beachbody and being able to earn an income doing something that I love and being available for my kids. So now I went from having just some fun money to paying our mortgage with the money I'm earning with Beachbody, and it's growing. It's growing like crazy. So that's my why. That's why I do this. My why's change along the way, but my why, my motivation is being home and being available and being involved in my kids' lives. So anyway, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.